Hey guys, back again today working on project Skabia. Last time I updated you, the car wasn't running and I kind of temporarily fixed the problem by removing the anti-lag box or the launch control box, whatever you want to call it, and sorting out the wiring with just shitty Wagos. Since then I have actually fixed that wiring properly. I'll show you now. Okay, so there is the wiring. It's not the prettiest fix. I've basically just connected the wiring back together with just a new bit of wire in between. I've then heat shrinked it. I do need to get some electrical tape, electrical cloth tape similar to that, to cover up all that wiring, but at least now that is fixed and sorted. I've also put a new battery in it because the other one was shit and old. Okay, so whilst that engine bay stuff has been sorted now, the main purpose of this section of the video is just to show you us actually cleaning the car, because it definitely fucking needs it. The inside is really gross, it's full of mold. We are going to give the outside a quick wash as well, because I mean, there's not much we can do to clean away all that shit paint. But yeah, let me quickly show you the inside and show you why we're cleaning it. So apart from the fact that it's just dirty, it's got mold growing in it, which is just fucking gross. I think it's just because it's been sat around for a while, not really being driven, so it's probably got some water in there that's now sat. Obviously the front is also equally just as dirty. I have started to clean that front seat, which is why it looked a little bit less shit, just with a wet vac. Harvey is very kindly starting to remove those stickers. That looks so much better already.
Oh, man.
He's also just been giving the dash and everything a wipe over, because it is like thick with just fucking dirt and grime, and it's fucking grim, to be honest. So yeah, very happy that actually the car's going to be clean and a little bit less disgusting, because from next week or the week after, this is going to be my new daily. So Harvey was very kindly kind of giving the boot a quick clean, and he's noticed that the tank for the air ride is held in with cable ties. Like, what the fuck is that? Who goes, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build this out of my old fucking bed frame, and then to hold the tank down, cable ties. Okay, so Harvey's done a really good job so far of actually getting rid of those fucking stickers. Obviously that's only temporary. I will probably 3D print or make some sort of little bracket to hold that, or maybe just use some like dual lock or Velcro. But yeah, even over here, all by the steering wheel where you had all those shitty random stickers, they're all gone. I mean, they've only gone from there to down there at the minute, but that's fine. That can all be hoovered up. But that's looking so much better. We've also done this passenger seat. It's still a little bit damp in places, but yeah, those are nice now. They're not covered in mold, and you don't feel like you're gonna need some sort of like tetanus shot or like jab after sitting in them. The next thing I need to tackle is this mold, which is just shit. So I'm not really sure the best way to tackle the mold. I think what I'm gonna do is rag some warm water first, just to kind of go over it, and then once I've done that and I've removed the bulk, I'll go over it with the wet vac. I don't want to attack it straight away with that, just because I don't really want to fill it with mold. That seems like a bad idea. So let's do it.
Whoa.
What?
Look at the extra storage. Whoa.
What can we put in there?
You have nothing.
Oh, nice. But
More stickers.
We could put more stickers in there.
There should be a place for stickers.
That could be. Do I have one on this side? No, do you know I do have on this side though? More mold.
So I found a special surprise in the case of the mirror.
Yeah, so that's great. Perfect, like brand new.
So I think what's happened here, right? Imagine my name's Kyle, definitely Kyle. Monster Energy in the passenger seat. First, second, back to first. Blow my engine, smash, done.
Yeah, I think you know, you just lost a race to a 1 litre EcoBeast Fiesta. You know, that thing makes like 125 horsepower. You're not catching it. So then you get really fucking mad. You know, you go to grab your monster, you run out of monster. Fuck, gotta smash something.
Mirror right there.
Perfect. Great.
More cracked than me.
Impossible. Okay, after about 10 minutes of fucking scrubbing the shit out of it, it looks better. It's not perfect. It does need a proper hoover, because obviously that's just a wet vac. It's not going to get up all the disgustingness that's under there. The actual carpet itself now isn't moldy, which is good, and I don't feel kind of unwell if I touch any of it, which is good. I do now need to move into the back seat, which is probably a bit worse, all down there, and I do need to do the backs of the seats, but you know, we're making progress and the car is definitely looking a lot better. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for today with the inside of the car, because there's not much more we can do. I need an actual hoover, and the seats are all a little bit damp now, so I want to let them dry, and then I can go over them again with the wet vac, and that is taking fucking ages. So what we're going to do before we put it back in the garage is give it a quick wash. So Harvey's over there, the pressure washer, very eager to clean off some of the shit from the car. So let's do it. Okay, so whilst we've got Harvey in the background giving the car a wash, I thought it's probably a good time for me to mention today's sponsor, which is me. So please, if you're enjoying the videos, subscribe, like, I really appreciate it. The more people who like and subscribe really help me. It means I can kind of keep doing this, because obviously if no one's watching it, there's no point in me making these. So I really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Salty suds. I do love me some salty suds.
Okay, so we just finished washing the car. Does it look any better? No. Has it protected the paintwork? No. But do I feel like I'm going to get a disease if I touch it now? No. And that is the main reason of doing this. Like, yes, the inside is still a bit dirty, and it's not perfect, but the main thing is now you can get in the car, you can touch everything, and you're probably not going to get any diseases. And that's the main thing. So I think it's a big improvement, because soon this is going to be my daily driver, as I keep saying. So the fact that I can get in it without vomiting is excellent. I don't think there's a point in drying it.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Look at that glass.
Oh. The fun thing is, as we've been washing it, we've been finding evidence of more stickers. So there's definitely been stickers on the roof. Obviously been loads of fucking stickers on that rear window. Yeah, you know, just Skabia things, really. Hey guys, I'm back again today working on the Skabia. What I've been doing so far is just continuing to try and fix and redo the boot build. So where I've got up to so far is I have removed that plastic side panel from the boot. I've also put some spade connectors on the wiring for the compressor. The reason why I've put spade connectors on there rather than just hard connecting it like it was before is because, as we saw before, the wiring fell apart as soon as I moved it. I mean, that is because it was put together really badly. It had one of those clear plastic blocks on with 2 screws. You put them in the middle, put the wires in, and then screw them down. For automotive use, that's shit. The reason is because the car obviously vibrates so much that over time that just comes loose, and it's not a proper fixed connection. So by putting these spade connectors on there, it means I can not only have a solid connection that isn't going to vibrate loose, but I can actually move the compressor around by simply disconnecting the wires. It's going to make my life a lot easier because I'm not sold on the compressor in that location. But for the moment, I think that's where it's going to live. What I'm going to be doing now is trying to fit the air ride kind of controller module thing over behind this panel. It does mean that I'm going to need to start cutting up this plastic, which is fine. So let's get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is cut off a large section of this boot interior trim plastic, probably right around here, so that I can actually fit in the air ride control module, which is here. So what I'm hoping to do is basically have it sit about there, but I can't really do that until I trim off some of that and know kind of roughly where that is. So how I'm going to do that is by using this cheap kind of little rotary tool from a power inverter, which is currently running off my daily driver, off the battery. I haven't used this before, so I don't know how well it's going to work, but I mean, let's give it a go and see what happens. Okay, so unfortunately I wasn't able to film that. I don't have a tripod at the moment. I will get one. But what I've done is cut out a hole from that boot panel there. I know it's not the prettiest, it's a bit kind of rough and just kind of shit. But what I did is guessed. I didn't measure. Unfortunately, it's kind of a difficult thing to measure. I'm sure there's ways of doing it. But I kind of worked out where I wanted that to go. I then put the panel back on, kind of guessed roughly, and I'm actually not too far off. That kind of nearly almost fits. What I'm going to do is trim away from this top section here to give myself a bit more room, and then kind of keep doing that process of cutting some away and then checking if that airlift controller fits. What I will do eventually is, once I'm happy with how that's fitting, is design and 3D print a little cover to go over it, because obviously the whole point of doing this is to hide away all the air ride stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to hide away that massive tank anywhere, but if I can at least hide the other stuff, it's going to mean I have more of a usable boot. So yeah, I think what I need to do now is cut away a bit more of that, and then I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I am actually having to hold this up just because it's not quite there yet. As you can see, it's getting a lot closer. I mean, I know the cut's pretty ugly, but I think for what I'm trying to do at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, once I'm happy with how that's fitting, I can clean all this up, and I definitely will clean all this up. But for the moment, that is not too bad. Let's do another cut at the top there, just give it a little bit more room, and I think we will be good to go. Okay, so it's maybe been about an hour since I last showed you my progress. What I've managed to do in that time is get the air ride controller mounted, and also get the compressor mounted. Let me show you that now. Okay, so over here I've managed to get my airlift controller mounted up. I'm not happy with the bolts I've used just because I don't have what I actually needed, but it's solid. For the moment, it's not going anywhere. And then over on this side, I've actually flipped my compressor around so that I've got more of the body of it in here, which means this kind of here is the air intake side, which is perfect. It also means I've got my hose for the tank coming out right at the bottom. I did actually have to swap this little block around, just a couple of bolts there, took it off, flipped this around, just because obviously it means that is coming out at the bottom, which is going to look a lot nicer. I have also marked on this side plastic where I need to cut. I think that side is going to look a lot cleaner than that side, just because it has been easier to kind of mark up roughly where I need to cut. So what I'm going to quickly do is make that cut, and then I will be back in a second. Okay, right, so I just kind of filmed this already to kind of say that I'm going to leave it here for today. And I walked over and I was showing you guys kind of what I've done so far. And I realised I made a really stupid mistake. So let me show you what I've done, and then I can also tell you why that's a mistake and tell you what I should have done instead. Okay, so over on this side here, I've got the compressor mounted up. Obviously, this air hose right now is just sticking out of the top. I will kind of cut it down so it kind of comes out the bottom here, which is where the tank's going to be. And then over on this side, I mounted up my airlift controller, whatever you want to call it. I cut away at that panel. I've taken it out already, but actually that did fit there quite nicely. But whilst I was explaining that to you guys, I suddenly thought, why the hell did I not just mount that airlift controller right there? There's such a nice big open space for it. And also, to make it worse, the connector here is really short. Like, it will not obviously make it all the way over there, so I'm going to have to extend it. But I could have just put it here, made my life so much easier. Oh, I don't know why I didn't do that. I mean, I do think now I probably will do that, because all I've done over here is put 2 bolts into it and destroyed that. I mean, that's not the end of the world. I can get a new boot panel. You know, it's ugly anyway. But yeah, so I spent maybe an hour today cutting all of that up, and I didn't need to. Hey guys, I'm starting off today's video in a bit of a random place. I'm currently on my way to my garage. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive there. My other car that you've seen me in, my Audi, the insurance is up on that because I've switched it over to the Skoda. So got a cycle there. As you can hear, I'm a bit out of breath. I haven't cycled in fucking years. But let's get on with it and get to the garage. Okay, so after about 25 minutes of cycling, I'm finally at my garage. Turns out I'm really unfit. I haven't cycled, as I said, in a year or so. And that was actually a struggle. But here at the garage, what I need to do is quickly just get this boot build together enough so that I can drive the car, because the car is going for an MOT. I have also got the passenger seats finally here, so I can go quickly drive to my house, get those fitted, because obviously I wasn't going to cycle here carrying rear seats on me. I don't think I could do that, and also it would just look ridiculous. So yeah, let's quickly figure out this absolute mess and get the car back to my house. Okay, so as you would have seen previously, I mounted the air ride controller there in that cutout. But the issue I very quickly found was that the wire for it was really short and was not going to reach all the way over there unless I cut it, extended it, and then, yeah. But when I was looking at it, I also noticed on this side, there is a massive flat section on that panel, which would be a lot easier to cut out, and actually also a lot easier for me to then make a cover for it, and it would look a lot nicer. So as you can see, I have moved it here and bolted it on so it's hidden behind this panel. Unfortunately, I don't have my car with me, as you can see, and all the tools I need to be able to actually cut that section out are in my car, because I'm really smart and I didn't leave them here. So what I'm going to do for now is basically just try and get the tank in the boot, get the air ride system back together just enough so I can quickly drive the car home, put the seats in it, and actually get the car ready for its MOT, which is later on today. Okay, so right, I am gonna kind of warn you guys that this is not gonna look pretty. It may actually look slightly worse than it did before. However, this kind of temporary boot build setup is only so I can get the car MOT so I can actually start driving it, because right now I don't have a car to drive. So, the tank is probably gonna live there for now. I know it's a bit weird to have the tank right at the front of the boot, but the reason for doing that, as I've explained before, is so that when I need to put bigger things in, I can kind of put the seats down, lift it over that tank, and then I've got loads of space. It's not bolted down, it will be. That line, obviously, I will extend. I will probably do that now. So in here, just got some new airline with some connectors and stuff, which is basically just so I can extend these lines up to there, kind of put them flat on the floor like that, run it nice and safely. I will then put probably a layer of foam down under the tank so that I can make like cutouts so that these have somewhere to run, so whenever I put anything on the boot, they're not going to be crushing those lines. So the next step is extending those lines and getting them plugged into the controller. Right, so I feel like a fucking idiot. I've just spent the last half an hour, 45 minutes trying to figure out why it wouldn't build up any pressure in the system. As you saw last time, I took the compressor apart so I could actually switch around the block so that I could have the intake on the other side and the exhaust on the other side to how it was. And I thought, well, maybe that's it, maybe you can't do that, so I've swapped that back around. It looks like a fucking mess again. Where that was mounted, I've taken everything out, panicking, looking online, thinking maybe I've managed to damage the controller or something, and what do we see here? We are building pressure again. Does anyone want to guess what it was? Guess. Was it a small leak? Was something needing to be tightened? No, I had just taken off this on the bottom. That was just open. So where I drained the system last time, I'd obviously opened that up to drain all the air out of the system and then not closed it again. So it physically couldn't build any pressure. Oh, that is such a relief. It does mean I'm a bit behind on time now, so I need to rush. So let's get on with it. Okay, right, so as I said, I'm now in a bit of a rush to get to the MOT guy, so I can actually get the car MOT'd and start driving it every day. I've kind of put the boot build back together enough now that I've figured out the only issue was me being an idiot. And it's an absolute fucking mess. I also need to quickly run home, put the seats in it, and then I can take it. So I will see you guys when I'm at the MOT centre, because I don't think I'm going to have enough time to film anything in between now and then. Let's do it. passed its MOT, which means I can now legally drive the car on the road. I do think it deserves a bit of a reward though, so got a little Red Bull, kind of matches, so let's give it a little drink. Okay, and just like that, the car's made it through its MOT and it's now my daily driver. As you saw, the boot build isn't 100% finished. I do need to keep working on that. I'm still not sure if I want to put some nice like wood down in there or carpet, but either way, it's not done yet and I am going to have to finish that next time. I did want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watching and subscribing. Obviously, I've got my sub goal now of 1,000 subs and I'm going to let the top comment on a video choose the colour that I paint the car. So if you want to see that happen, please keep watching, subscribe and share it with your friends. But for now, thank you guys so much and I'll see you next time.